Yes, it's a hot day in paradise, you know. When you're close to the equator, especially going south, it's like you get a more concentration of the magnetic field. You're closer to the Earth's ley lines. And so everything in your body work different. You know, your chakras spin more. Hello, how you doing? And with your chakras spinning more, it's like everything on you come alive faster. You're more one with ether. It's in the mist, the steam. You know, I tell you you're in a substance. Well, the substance is more active as you get closer towards the magnetic field of the equator, and due to the sun always focusing its energy right there on the center point, it does that. The good thing about it is, you know, no, it got its bad parts too. Like you take a piece of food you cook or something, you leave it out for a day. Out here, it will automatically, yes, all right. It automatically will have rigor mortis or worms or something in it within 24 hours. Like in the north, you could leave something out for maybe a day or two before it starts getting spoiled or anything. So out here, everything is more alive. That's how it is. And so we was built, a lot of us, to be inside this magnetic field, you know, especially copper skin, dark skinned people. That's why, you know, you was designed to be in a designated place on this earth. Well, a lot of us can't get to those destinations no more. We hardly have time to be in the sun. We always working. It's like we only get opportunity to walk from our car into the place that we're going to work and then into our house. You know, aside from the body itself being constrained, it's like it only get to move in certain directions. Those directions is you're walking, you're running, you're sitting, you know, the basic things. But the body, as you was a child, used to do so much more. Used to play freeze tag, used to play ring a lever, run around in the park on the monkey bars. Those was actually tension relievers. That's why kids is always in a better position, were more intelligent, more able to handle stress and pressures. It's like they was the perfect person when you're a child. But as we get older now, we constrain ourselves to looking, you know, proper in society and kind of domesticate our own mind. And so with that now, you get these energies that you cannot release. It become repressed inside of you because for you to get it out, it would have took a certain motion, a certain contortion of the body, which the body don't get to do no more. The most we do is, you know, stuff like that. When you do things like that, that's your body releasing energy. And if you don't understand that, you get all this blocked up energy, and it becomes a shadow. This shadow becomes like a shadow being inside of you, and then you wind up exploding on somebody that you didn't mean to do it on, or that was the last straw, and they didn't really say too much, but it just was overblown and make it seem kind of extreme. So on that note, these now is why we had to learn how to meditate. Through meditation, you're able to exhaust or expire those energies without having to go through the process of fighting, yelling, screaming, you know, abusing your partner or kids or anything of that sort. Much less the fact that your body is getting sick. Every day your magnetic field get worse and worse. You know, when you're talking the word disease, you're talking disharmony. You know, the dissonance is telling you you're out of harmony with your magnetic field. And so this starts a year, maybe a year and a half prior to you getting whatever the sickness is, yes. And so when you do get the sickness, this already was planned and coming from the astral world down to the physical world maybe a year or so ago. And so you could prevent all these diseases by allowing yourself not to be so tight, not to be so just getting from your car to the house. One important thing is sun. You know, as a melanated person, indigo, and our skin being darker, you need more time in the sun. What would take a light-skinned person 5 minutes to get, which is vitamin D, would take a copper tone melanated person about an hour and a half to get that same vitamin D that the person with that's light skin take 15 minutes. So you have to know these things, because if you don't receive vitamin D, you're not going to be able to sustain your body. Now, when we're talking about meditation, right? Meditation is not just sitting and closing your eyes. And meditation is not just pondering upon the thoughts. It's not just traveling the astral world. Meditation is a way of life. Meditation is the same as saying in yoga, and yoga is not just an art. It's another way of life. It's union with your energies, union with your spirits, union with yourself, union with your God, union with your family, union with your thoughts, aligning everything up for the laws of attraction. That's yoga. And it requires a principle, a basis, a formula for you to do it. It just doesn't work by you just sitting there stretching and contorting your body in positions, or you just sitting there with your mind in a blank state, or you thinking you astral projecting, or whatever the case may be, you see your ancestors. That's not meditation, that's not yoga. You see, for you to understand true yoga, true meditation, you first have to understand what is going on to make these things happen, or what is the purpose. So, before you even start meditating, it's like you have to have mental discipline first and self-control. Those are the first two levels. You see, if you don't have those things, you're not going to be able to sit still. If you can't sit still, you cannot take what you're going to encounter under meditation, unifying through yoga. You will not be able to take the energies. You got to look at it. You got an electrical system that's blocked up. You can't actually get all the energy or electricity through it. It's very low voltage right now. The lower the voltage, the more three-dimensional you'll be in this world, the greater this world seems to you. But as the voltage starts pouring through your body, the less you see this world in a whole, because you're lighting up from the inside and glowing from the inside. So it can't be this glowing outside no more. It's because you're dark inside. It's like being in a movie theater and you're watching a movie screen. Everything is clear in the movie because the room is dark. Now, as you light and turn on the lights in the movie theater, the screen don't look so dark no more, because actually it was the darkness that made it look so bright. So that's the same theory with what you're doing when you don't do meditation, when you don't take these journeys that I'm talking about. You're not acquiring the light. So meditation then becomes something totally different. It becomes now like an activation of your chakras, an activation of your DNA. That's what everybody is missing. It's like you got DNA inside of you, but you don't know how to activate it. They call it junk DNA, or they tell you that, these is kind of things that we used to use when we was back in the primordial times. No, it's none of that. You were sent here to activate them, and the only way they're going to be activated is through you, self-activating them. Now, if you don't know how to do that, you're going to be a product of the government. So, back in the days, a lot of the ancient ones, they started learning the system, and they put it into a system called Hermetic teaching. It required for a person to go into the hermit life, literally isolate themselves, because like I said, yoga is union of energy, not union of people, union of energy. These first levels of yoga you're talking about now, between what would be called Panjaliya Yoga and Hatha Yoga, you got Kriya Yoga. These disciplines is of the mind and of the body for self-control to take you to the higher levels. So first thing you will want to do is learn to self-control. Self-control will teach you how to eat correct, how to not overeat. You see, a lot of people think eating correct means don't eat meat, you're vegetarian, this type of food, that type of food. It don't mean nothing of those things. You can eat whatever you want. It's the discipline of knowing when to eat and when not to eat, not overeating in abundance. The body heals itself, and to take care of itself, regardless of what you put in it, it's going to break it down for what it's need. But if you overeating constantly, not realizing food take about 8 to 9 hours to digest, you're constantly disregarding your body's digestive system. And in doing so, it's not going to work for you. You get all this built up food after 4 or 5 o'clock that wind up going into your colon to give you colon cancer, the ring around your stomach. All of those things is people who is not conscious of their nature and not being one with their own nature. So when you're talking about meditation, you have to also be mentally disciplined and self-control, which will lead to a good eating habit, period. Just being conscious will make you eat right. And so now you're ready for level 2, which is to try to sit still without letting your mind take over you and always running and always thinking this and that. The thing to meditation is you want to have the mind blank. Or a lot of people don't even understand when I say blank, they might just think a black space or even a white space. No, I don't mean nothing like that. Like, you don't think, you can't think. Stop thinking, period. It's like how you do it. Like if you're really listening to this video and into this video, you wasn't thinking no more. It's the same process. Do that. So you would just release yourself, release yourself. You see, it's like you got a magnetic field holding your body to you. And so if you release the magnetic field of your body act out on its own. When you get there in meditation by closing your eyes and sitting still, after you done have all these thoughts running and they running and you don't entertain them or think about them and allow them to flow through, you're emptying your cup. Your cup was filled. These is all thoughts, ideas that's inside of you that have the body acting out kind of foolish and crazy. So once you get these thoughts, ideas out of you by letting yourself just sit there and wait, now all of a sudden you have all that weight off of you and your cup now is empty. You will see all of a sudden it's like you're floating up because now energy is being filled into you. You're having what's called the chi energy come into your system. And so now you're going to feel funny feelings in your pineal gland. You're going to feel the back of your head by the amygdala and medulla area. All of these going to start resonating, feeling like tight sensations. And that all got to come around to the front libo, whatever you call it. We call it the third eye, the pineal gland. It got to come around there. And once it comes to that full energy, it's going to feel uncomfortable for a while. It's just going to do it like maybe once or twice. I tell you to enjoy it because after it opens, it's like working out. When you lift weights, you feel sore at first, but then when you go back and lift them some more, you ain't going to feel it no more. So enjoy that feeling. It's like a once awakening feeling experience. And it don't just do your pineal. It comes down and it flows down. You feel it in your temple, and you feel it in your jawbone. You feel it in your mouth. You feel it in your throat, all the way coming down your chest as you go through each level. It don't take it all in one time. Over a period of time, as you keep meditating and you pull the energies down on you, you pull it. Once it get all the way down to where your root chakra is, it's going to connect to now what's called the kundalini. And now another energy is going to start coming back up, raising up. To make this energy raise up, it's breathing involved. That's when you learn the different breathing techniques. And the basic simple breathing is to breathe out all your air all the way to your abs is tight. Keep your stomach tight when you're breathing in now. Only breathe through your nose, never through your mouth. And you breathe halfway and then you hold it and you just breathe in your own breath. It's like you push your breath through your organs, through your skin. Breathe through your skin because back in the days we never breathed. When we inhale air, we inhale shu, which had typhon in it, and all the different entities and demons and anything. Air is the reason we're alive, but air is a demon itself. And so you have to get the air out and get only prana in you. So by you only breathing in your lower lungs, that's all you're catching is prana, the life force. Once you do that, it resonates on your pineal, and it lights up the whole electromagnetic field to show you what's in the air so you can see everything. Because you only could see what was solid because you're using just your stomach abs or you could say your brain and your lower self, which is your abdomen, which is the second root chakra. So once you get that going, then you'll be able to leave the lower self and the worry self and all those things that make you a question-asked person, and you'll just see life for what it really is. Because the higher self or the higher mind is a knower. It's not going to be all about worries and problems. Now, it's now two parts to it, though. We're going to go back to when you were sitting and meditating and all these things and issues coming up from post-traumatic trauma to, childhood things. All of these you might reflect on. It could come in two forms, in just thoughts, emotional feelings, or it could actually come up as images, as entities, ghosts, and you deal with them. You don't hide from them. You don't run. You don't fight and defend. If you do that, you're going to mess up your own choices for the future, because you're in the astral world and it's giving you opportunity to fix it. So all you do is make peace with it. Come to terms with it, but don't change it. Don't try to even act on it. If you act off of fear, all you're going to do is create more fear. If you even act off of love, you're going to do is create the same fear, because you're acting off of it. You're not being yourself. So you never act off of nothing, period. You act off your own thoughts. So when you go in there and you see these things, make sure you make the right choice, which is no choice. Just, let it go. Somebody's stabbing you in the astral world, hitting you, let it be. These are things you have to face that you never face. And it's just you reconciling with what's already inside of you. Those things now would be those shadows, splits, other personalities manifesting themselves, showing themselves to you what they are. Those is literally what they say it. They fragmented pieces of yourself. That's why you see them as these entities and creatures, because it's really splits of yourself. You got to realize you are thousands upon thousands, maybe millions of actually layers of reflection that come together to form this intelligent thing y'all think is skin. But it literally comes apart like 1/zillionth of a centimeter thick to create itself a whole bunch of layers that come together like a giant Lego pieces that interlock as DNA. And that's how you're created. So each little part interlocks and come out, and it wind up be like a reflective ghost split image that once you unite with it, it goes back into you into its position, and now you don't have splits in yourself, because now this reflects on your soul. If your soul have an ugly soul, and it always is changing depending on the choices you make, that's what you're going to have in the astral world. You see a scary looking thing. It don't always have to be scary. It could be right and beautiful if you fix all those things, And if not, those other splits is going to be running around underneath the soul. You see, once you reach your soul, which is the journey of meditation, the soul integrates all those splits that I'm telling you about and put them in order for you. It becomes like a straight ring, and you travel through all the rings. But the soul is the Lord of the ring. He on the other end, and nobody break that chain. But prior to that, they all over in you. You're emotional, you happy, you sad, you sexual, you want this when you want that, you're not happy. But once you get to the soul, he aligns everything. And so it feeds you just straight endorphins, like you feel like you're having sex, you feel like you're on drugs. It's always like a great feeling, have you dancing like James Brown singing them type of songs. I'm pretty sure that's what it was when he said I got soul and did all that shit. That nigga was for real. So meditation now, like I said, it's not just like how we think. You go sit down, you do whatever you want, your life, you fucking up, you insulting people. Nah, you can't do that and then talk about you're gonna go meditate. They will deny you access to the upper worlds. So for you to understand true meditation, it's a way of life. And that's what we're gonna call it, meditation. And for you to understand it, you have to break it down into all the aspects of it, because that's how it comes onto your body. It's like a person can't come that is sitting there closing their eyes and say they're in the astral world and doing it, and then you say, oh, I want to do it too, and then it works for you when you go do it. No. That person could have been doing it for a while where they wasn't seeing nothing at first, or they was probably in dreams already getting cleansed out. Their chakras activate. When we're talking about that chakra activate, I tell you that's that energy that feels very uncomfortable, is very powerful, it gives people headaches. When you in there and you starting to get these first feelings, it make you feel dizzy, you're spinning, because you have to spin like a gyroscope. You going into parallel universes that if your reality is this way, down and up, that one is going to be upside down. It could be sideways. It could be any angle on the clock. And so they have to actually orientate your perception to see that. But if you're too conscious, you're going to be like, wait a minute, this look like a car and this look like this. But it's nothing like that. It's a world you've never seen, so you can't identify nothing in it. So your best bet is just to keep watching that world, keep watching that world. Don't try to identify nothing yet or associate it to your world. Nothing in your world do you ever associate when you go in the spiritual world, because some of it could be upside down, backwards, and you don't know your orientation, and you shouldn't try to change your orientation because you'll mess up that world. Not the world itself, but the view that you're seeing of it. They're giving it to you in the natural. So sometimes you got to stay in a lucid state to maintain that image of it in the direction that it's supposed to be in, which will probably sometimes make you feel dizzy, or you feel like you're upside down or some funny shit. But it looks sometimes straight to you in your vision, but actually you're upside down. You're perpendicular. It's a matrix that it shifts in angles depending on what parallel you're going in. And so once you realize that, you know you're going to feel all these weird sensations, but it's only to open you up. And once everything open up, you just be able to instantly go into your body double, and your meditations will be good. Now, the thing with meditation the thing is, there's different parts to it. Once the energy go down, you have the second part coming up, the Kundalini, which is now another uncomfortable energy that probably comes maybe 6 to 8 months to a year later if you always doing it and you're doing it correct. In your meditation, you should have a focal point, a box in your mind that you just stare at, don't move. You keep it focused there. The more you stay still, the higher you resonate, the more you activate your DNA. These are facts. I'm not telling you. You could check biogenetics and meditation and the results from it. Every time a person who meditates is more smarter, they're more accurate with what they do, their energy is up, they actually get younger. All these is the results from it. So you got to understand, just because you're not seeing it like how the other person is or doing the things they're doing, everything comes over time. And it's how clean your chakras is. And the more you do it, you cleanse yourself more and more, and you get used to it more and more. Now, once you're able to maintain it, and you get yourself to the point where you're floating out your body, you're seeing the astral world, you will have to cleanse your mind to the most purest form, because you're dealing with angels and higher beings now. These angels and higher beings, they judge you off of how you conduct yourself in the real world to see if you're ready for that type of knowledge, that type of science. The science they're just going to teach you is how the world works. You see, that's natural science that the medieval people practiced, the Egyptian people. That's how they built pyramids, and we don't know how they did it, carry all these stones. It's science to it, and the angels teach everybody that. That's why you see always the ancient pictures, angels with their fingers over their mouth. And us, the mundane, we follow science, and what they do, they tell you what to say. It's not like you investigated it yourself and you know that. They tell you this is an atom, so you're going around teaching everybody this is an atom. They say that this is carbon dioxide. You go around and say this is carbon dioxide. So you're not learning nothing. You're just repeating what they're saying. That's all you're doing. Every part of that is no more. You could go see carbon dioxide for yourself, draw a picture of it, and tell your own observation. This is what you could do on the meditation. It's called clairvoyance, you know. Back in the days, when people used to meditate, all they used to do was stare at the object, stare at it, and their eyes take a picture of it, and then they close their eyes, and they travel through it. And it will get them closer to that object, to get them to know what it is, prior to them not having that experience. So when they wanted to see different star systems, they would just go ahead and stare at it and then go through it. And they will go encounter it through their astral body. When you go into meditation and you're doing it correct, it's like you're trying to stay as still as you can, do low breathing. The body's going to panic. It's so you're going to body double. When you feel that body double, it's like you're shrinking down into your body like a ant, like Adam Man or something. And then from there, you're going to go into your eyes are going to slowly shut into darkness. And then you're going to wind up seeing a little orb light come in that darkness now and take over. It's like ectoplasm come over your eyes. You know, you do it, the body have a way of taking care of itself. You know, I just wanted to go back to about the body too, when I was telling you about how we have to work with the body, release our mind from the body. So it's good to stretch it, jump it, dance, scream, yell, and get the aggression out. Only reason, it's not because it's some old manic crazy shit. It's because of the simple fact, us in the north and in these urban areas, we don't accommodate these things for our bodies no more. Like I said, we just go to work, get on the car or the bus, and train and go in and come out. Most exercise we do is when we fucking or go to the gym, which is still the same thing. You're repeating the same body things. So you can't get aggression out that your wifey got you angry and you want to smack her or go and you can't hit him or choke him because he got you mad that you want to go So all these things now, this is where you have to find other means where you jump, you twist, you yell, you scream, and we could do it through breathing. You could breathe out that aggression. You know, you breathe in and you say the word, whatever it is, right there as you let it out, and keep doing it. Do a lot of it to get it out of your system. These, believe it or not, a lot of people don't realize you be smiling and feeling good inside when a lot of people ain't going to really feel good inside just by doing these things. So I just wanted to put you on to why you do it, because the body will turn against you and get sick. So you have to stretch it out, twist it out, turn that music up and jump and act a fool. We invented breakdancing because of that. When we came out, we bought our own medicine with her. Breakdancing was our medicine. Then when they make the stomach roll over and roll over, that's chi energy we was gathering because it required us to use our abdomens to pull that energy. So breakdancing was the ultimate health exercise that was brought here for us that we never took advantage of. You know, once you realize that these is the things you need, yes sir. Yes, sir. Once you realize these is the things that was sent here, which is just like you see how graffiti just popped up too with it. And graffiti reflect all the images of the astral world. That's how the astral world looks, just like those graffiti pictures. And if you can't read it, you ain't going to be able to survive in the astral world. So that's telling you a group of people came here during that time, not regular humans. We might look at it, but the whole world know. Why you think they went and bought up all the trains and put them in museums? I tell you, they know angel stuff. All the African stuff that's in museums that's put up, that's why. They know what's going on, but they're not going to tell you. I love this, I love this, I love this. Let's get this going. Look. Now, for your meditation, like I said, it's a matter of sitting there. You could use lotus position, whatever it is. But like I said, the lifestyle, if you have to be in unison with your meditation, you have to be true. You can't go around being hateful, angry, and have all that stuff and then talk about you love and meditation. Whoever you hate, alleviate them out your life. You have to make a world of how you vision it to be. Don't look at the world around you. It's a gimmick. It's a hustle. But you have to say, I want a peace world, and start creating it, because you're a creator. When you go into the astral world, aside from you doing the lessons of temptations, going through the tuat, the weighing of your heart, you get to create the world you want by controlling your thoughts. Your thoughts is implanted into you by what you watch on TV and what you do. So by you being careful of what you think, what you take in and ingest, like watching a movie and feeling it, it's going in your subconscious. You don't have to watch it with that much intent in it. Don't get into it like that. Just keep in touch and stay there, but not in it. Don't let it affect you. You understand what I'm saying? And then you have control of your astral. That's why we have these dreams that is people killing us and stabbing us. Then you wonder why, because you've been watching that shit all day. Judge Mathis and Judge Judy, CSI and Law and Order. All of these things make it like people chasing you and killing you. All these killing shows, because we don't encounter it in our lives. If you live like that, you won't be dreaming it. But these are things that you don't live and you actually experience through television. So implant these things in your subconscious that comes alive when your conscious mind is dropped down. So remember that and watch what you put inside of you. Now, that's a whole concept of meditation that will rejuvenate you and put you at one. Now, there's other levels to it that I'm gonna get into in other videos, because there's tantra still. You know, it's when the kundalini rise, it's gonna turn you into a little sex beast, and you have to know how to use tantra to balance out your energies. And so, I don't know. I'm gonna keep it shorter than this, because this one here is going a little too far. University of Conscious Science. One love.